Want to help me make this a happier and healthier world? Like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to work with me, go find me at ryanspence.biz. If you're too tired, stressed, or unmotivated to cook healthy meals with everything going on in the world today, then today's video is just for you. Ryan Spence here, and I'm a life and health coach here to help you live happier and healthier through personal coaching and YouTube. And as somebody that has recently had COVID and have not been able to work out much, I have found a huge importance of eating healthier to stay in shape. Not only is today's meal healthy, but it's also easy and incredibly inexpensive to make if you're on a budget these days, because I know times are tough. Today's meal will help you fully nourish your body, which can help you prevent disease and fight off that quarantine 15. It only averages $5.80 per serving for 4 very massive servings, very filling for somebody like me that has a huge appetite. However, you can easily split it up into 6 servings if you have a smaller appetite or you want to save some money. Now, before I get into the video, I want to thank everybody for all the YouTube likes and comments, which have helped our channel grow. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe now. Make sure you click on the notification bell because I'm bringing you new videos like this every Monday. And if you're somebody that wants to lose weight and feel confident in your body again, like I did when I lost my 130 pounds and easily kept it off for 10 years, sign up on my website in the description below, as I have a new weight loss class coming out soon. Now, why is it more important than ever to find easy, healthy meals that we can afford? Well, COVID has definitely put us, all of us, in a state of fear and stress, as well as made us much busier with new home responsibilities that you may have, and those are going to drain our energy. So our health should be our number one priority, to help fight off the disease and give us more energy. And having recipes like this in your tool belt that you can prep and make your week a lot less stressful is going to help you out. So if you haven't checked out any of my previous recipes that I've been posting on YouTube, go check out my recipe playlist. So today's meal is an organic chunky beef vegetable. It was a staple of mine when I used to eat paleo because it was just chock full of vegetables and hardiness and perfect for the colder seasons. Now, if you're like me, I grew up on soup, especially soup in a can, but this is a much healthier version since you're putting cleaner ingredients in, and you can customize what you want to put in there for meats and veggies. You can even make this a vegan, just a vegetable soup too, if you want. So of course you could buy a can of conventional chunky version of this type of soup. Might be a little bit cheaper, but you get what you pay for. So which are those cheap preservatives and ingredients that may not be so good for your body in the long term. If you're really on a budget, make this into 6 servings instead of 4, and then it'll be about the same price as a can of a chunky variety type of soup. In this 1 can of soup, you get 80% of your sodium in just 1 can, one meal. And according to this Harvard article in the description below, high sodium is heavily linked to high blood pressure, heart disease, and stroke. So yet another reason to maybe avoid the canned variety is just to avoid that massive amount of sodium that you're going to get. So I had the original recipe in the description below. Now I modified it slightly though, and the way I prepared it, it averages $5.80 per serving, or about 560 calories, and a whopping 25 grams of protein and 13 grams of fiber. And those are the nutrients that really keep us the most full and support a healthy diet. So you can reduce the cost by taking out some of the ground beef if you wanted, but you're gonna miss out on a little bit of protein. So in this picture, you can see most of the ingredients I used. Not pictured here is the beef broth that I use. So the beef broth averages around $3 per carton, getting the organic one. You can get cheaper ones that aren't organic, but again, you want to take a look at the ingredients list. As you see here, this one's pretty clean. The only thing that's kind of concern is the caramel color that's in there, but at least this is less than 2% of the contents of that. So even if it was some form of harmful, it's a very, very small amount, but I'm not too concerned about it. So next I have the small can of tomato paste. In the recipe on there, it says only use a couple tablespoons. I just use the whole can. Same with the beef broth. I just use the whole carton. I don't really like saving just a small amount of that. And I don't mind having a little bit more broth and a little bit more tomatoey taste to it. So I just use the whole thing so I don't have to store it, and then it just goes bad later on. As you can see here with the tomato paste, pretty simple ingredients. Tomatoes. a little bit of citric acid, but essentially that's just vitamin C, so I'm not too concerned about that. So here you can see Trader Joe's organic sweet potatoes. This is a 5-pound bag, which is about $5 actually. And then for this meal, I only used 2 pounds of the 5 pounds of this. So you have another 3 pounds for any other type of meals. I have a couple of YouTube videos on other ways to use sweet potatoes too, if you want to check those out. So with your sweet potatoes, you want to wash, scrub those, just get any other dirt or anything else off of it. I like to dice mine really, really small just because, sweet potatoes are really thick. And so it's, the smaller you can cut them, usually the better and quicker they'll cook with inside and they won't be as hard. The next ingredient is 85-15 grass-fed ground beef, and this is sold. This one specifically I got at Target, but I get this exact same thing at Trader Joe's whenever I go there. You can also get this at Aldi. Highly recommend this if you like to eat ground beef. This is a much cleaner version, with being grass-fed as opposed to genetically modified corn-fed ground beef. So yeah, highly recommend this. This runs about $6 per pound. So it's a little bit pricier than the conventional meat, but again, you're paying for a higher quality ingredient. Now, in this next picture, I kind of made a little bit of a blunder. Now, originally in the recipe, you would boil everything in a saucepan or a very large pan on the stove. And of course, I've run in this before because I put so many sweet potatoes in this, and I was getting ready to put like 3 pounds of sweet potatoes in, and I only ended up putting in 2 pounds in. So I started by browning the meat, which is what you'd want to do if you're to follow the recipe. However, once I browned the meat and I realized I have way too many sweet potatoes, I have too many ingredients to go in here, then I switched this over to the crock pot, which you're going to see here shortly. So I did brown the meat, and then I threw that into the crock pot, and the crock pot's where I'm going to finish everything. However, if you're going to do this all entirely in the crock pot, you can just throw the meat in there without it being cooked, throw all the ingredients in, let everybody swim in the pool, and then cook for 4 hours on high or 8 hours on low. I love Trader Joe's mirepoix. It's 3 vegetables that are already cut up for you. Usually I don't like to buy vegetables that are already cut up because I know you pay a premium, but the fact that this has 3 different vegetables that are perfect for soups and they're already cut up, it's worth the little bit added cost of paying for somebody else to cut them up. So this is $3 per container, and I use 2 containers for this. So this is $6 worth of mirepoix in this meal. Now the next ingredient is Trader Joe's organic diced tomatoes. Now pictured here, I have 2 cans, but as I was starting to cook and I realized, well, you know what, I actually only need 1 can of tomatoes. So I just used 1 of these cans, and diced tomatoes are incredibly cheap. You can find them at any grocery store, but I just happened to get Trader Joe's organic version, which ran me less than $1 per can. I want to think it was around 70 cents per can, but I'll just round it up to $1. So again, looking at the ingredients, these are some pretty clean ingredients. You see basically tomatoes, you see that citric acid, which again is essentially vitamin C, nothing to be too concerned about. And then you have this calcium chloride, which again is something that's commonly in canned foods. I looked up a little bit more, and I mean, the USDA claims that it's generally not harmful, so I feel pretty good with using these ingredients. Of course, if you really don't feel that comfortable using the canned version, then dice up your own tomatoes. You can do it that way. And our last ingredient is mixed peppers. And again, I got this from Trader Joe's. Just got a mixed color of peppers. Wash those off. Dice those up however you like. So now that you have all the ingredients prepared, you've got them diced up, you've got them washed, ready to go. So again, normally, if you were to follow this recipe, you would use a big saucepan, to put everything in there. I ran out of space, and I wanted to use the crock pot to see if that would work for this, and sure enough, it worked great. So with the crock pot, it's fantastic because you can just throw everything in, including the meat. You don't even have to cook the meat. Throw that in here. Including some seasonings. So this called for oregano, salt, and pepper. Then just season this however you like. This calls for oregano, chili powder, salt, and pepper. Great to use in here. Of course, you can add anything else, other seasonings that you like that you want to have in your soup. On high for 4 hours or low for 8 hours, and then voila, you have your soup. And again, this is just a massive amount for 4 servings. So again, encourage you to, do your own math and get it down to 5 or 6 servings if you want to make it even less expensive for you, or if it just 4 servings is too much for you. So per those 4 servings, I got around 25 grams of protein, 70 carbs, which are all coming pretty much from vegetables, which are great carbs to have. And then 19 grams of fat. Again, most of that's coming from the grass-fed ground beef. So if you want lower fat and a little bit lower protein, make it vegan. Take out the grass-fed ground beef. And the total comes out to about $23.20. So again, getting about that $5.80 per serving. Could get it down a little bit more though. Again, if you want to split it up to 5 or 6 servings. What was your favorite soup growing up? I could eat about anything out of a can, like SpaghettiOs, chunky soup, but especially my favorite was chunky vegetable beef or beef with barley. And before we go, I just want to let you know, if you need help with dealing with some of the stress of the COVID environment we're in, please check out my website and set up a free coaching session with me where we can get you living a much happier and healthier life that you want to live. So until the next video, stay healthy and I love you.